Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the ADDIESDIVE AD2055. Let's start with wrist check. I'm wearing this GSD003 on the metal bracelet. I just did a mini review of this, so if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out. And Grego is wearing my ADDIESDIVE AD2054, which I just did a full review on, so if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. Grego is excited that it is Cinco de Mayo because they are serving tacos today at the Jedi Academy. I asked him, why are they celebrating Mexico's victory over the French at the Jedi Academy? He said, no. May the 5th celebrates the day Jar Jar Binks almost choked to death on a taco at the Coruscant Mall food court. All right, let's take a look at the watch. We have an ADDIESDIVE, and thus we have these hard shell plastic cases. They're really super nice. I like them. I'd be perfectly happy if every watch I bought from AliExpress was in one of these. I just think they're great. And here's the watch. Of course, the minute hand is hiding the date, so I better change that. All right, see? It's the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo. But here's the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? It's pretty unique for an ADDIESDIVE. This is another ADDIESDIVE on my channel. ADDIESDIVE just released this watch, and I'm trying to figure out if this is an homage to anything. And it does have a Seiko-style hour hand and a lollipop counterbalance minute hand. But other than that, it really doesn't look like a Seiko. Regardless, it is a very nice looking watch, and I really like it. ADDIESDIVE must be proud of this watch, as it wrote its name in a nice cursive font without the spear gun logo. Also, there is no mention of Deep Sea Hunter other than in the unsigned warranty card. Since this is an automatic, ADDIESDIVE is also included in sapphire crystal and their newly milled clasp. This watch only comes in one colorway, so if you don't like green watches, you're out of luck. The watch is 37.5 millimeters if you measure at the bezel, but 39.2 millimeters at the case. Has a 48.9 millimeter lug to lug with short inverted end links. It's 12.1 millimeters high with a flat crystal. Has a 20 millimeter lug width, and it tapers down to 16 millimeters, and weighs 124 millimeters on the supply bracelet with 3 links removed. So it's pretty light considering it's a solid steel watch with an NH35. Then we have a smooth brush bezel, and then we have the dial. The dial is a sector dial. The inner part of the dial, we have a nice sunburst effect, and then the outer part of the dial, we have a texture. And that's more of a flat effect. Then we have minute counters on the outer dial. Then we have a train track minute markers. And then we have lume indices at the 5s. And then we have lume numerals at the 5s. And then we have a date at the 3, and we have a frame date window. Then it says ADDIESDIVE up top, and it's written in script and not a normal printed font. Then it says automatic on the bottom. No mention of water resistance, but it says 200 meters on the case back. So you get a full 200 meters, it claims. And then we have the hands. We have a fence post minute hand, then this really big sword hour hand, really big, kind of like a Seiko Samurai big. And then we have a second hand with a loomed lollipop counterbalance. Then we have a signed screw down crown. Thread action's fine, pops nicely when you unscrew it. Then it seems to catch right away when you go to screw it back down, and there's not a lot of resistance, so it's good thread action. And then we have the crystal sapphire. I tested it, and we do have AR coating, because look at that, there's hardly any reflection, so the AR coating is pretty good. And then we have the case. The case is brushed, not polished, and I like it. I think they did a good job with the case. It's shaped nicely. Really good brush work. Then we have the case back. The case back is thankfully not a coin edge like the last one I reviewed of an ADDIESDIVE. It's got the little notches for a wrench. And then we have the ADDIESDIVE logo here. And of course we got the spear guns, because ADDIESDIVE only, unlike Steel Dive, ADDIESDIVE only has one logo. Then it says ADDIESDIVE, all stainless steel, automatic movement. Then it says NH35, so they can't sneak a Miyota in there, otherwise they'd be lying. Then it says divers with an apostrophe S, 200 meters. It shouldn't say that. And this isn't a dive watch anyway, so maybe they borrowed the case back from another model. I don't know, but they're not supposed to say divers with an apostrophe S unless it's ISO 6425 certified, and this one most certainly is not. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. This is the go-to movement for automatic watches in this price range. It's a 24 joule 3 hertz movement that hand winds hacks and has a bidirectional rotor and about 40 hours of power reserve. And they're usually fairly accurate right off the shelf, but we'll put it on the time grapher anyway. But of course, I'm sure they're not regulated at the ADDIESDIVE factory, so your mileage may vary. Here it is on the time grapher, and as you can see, this one's running just about spot on. +2, +1, 0. Amplitude's a little low though, and there's quite a bit of beat error. The beat error is why you see 2 lines on the screen. But once again, look at how flat that line is though. So this is running very accurate, so that's very good. Of course, this is an NH35, so if I start moving the position of the watch all around, it's not going to be as consistent as a more expensive movement. Then the bracelet is a 3-link oyster style. The center links are fixed so with the side links, so it's not fully articulating. Then we do have solid end links, and they are inverted, but look at that though. They're a little short for the lugs. And the biggest complaint about this, the little tips of the lugs there are a little sharp there. So it's just something you can snag your skin on. So I wish the end links were a little bit longer so they fit the lugs perfectly. Either that or the lugs were shorter. In fact, yeah, I wish the lugs were shorter. I'd rather have shorter lugs than longer end links. Then we have push pin adjusters, not screw pins. I've never seen an ADDIESDIVE with screw pins. I don't know if they exist or not, but I've never come across one. And then we have the newer clasp, and these have been popping up on ADDIESDIVEs lately, and I like them. They're fully milled, and they have 5 holes of micro adjust. So they're a big improvement on the other clasp that they used to use, or well, they still do on some models. Obviously, the AD2054 I just reviewed had one. Here's the watch and my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks really nice. I really like it. I think they did a good job with this watch. That dial is just really sharp. Nice looking watch. Very comfortable to wear. Fits me nicely. Not too heavy, not too thick. Good wrist roll. Here we are in the loom room. Let's see if the yellow paint added to the loom makes a difference in the usually good ADDIESDIVE loom. As we speed up the time, we see the bright green glow of C3 and is doing quite well. Also, as everything starts to fade, the hands and major indices are a bit stronger. It's always nice that if there is a disparity in loom durability, there is an emphasis on the hands and not the index. What do I like about this watch? Well, stunning looks with a fairly original design. In fact, I even asked everybody on Watch Crunch if they thought this was homaging something, and nobody could come up with anything. A lot of people say Alpinist, but other than the green dial, it really isn't, because an Alpinist is totally different. It does have Seiko vibes to it, but it does not look like an Alpinist other than the dial's green. I love this emerald green sector dial. They did a great job with it. I like the contrast of the yellow and the green, and it does have great loom. What are my gripes and groans? The end links are too short for the lugs, or the lugs are too long for the end links. Only comes in green. A blue one would have looked nice. And I have this common ADDIESDIVE complaint. They use an apostrophe S divers on their case back. At least it doesn't say it on the dial this time, but if it says divers with an apostrophe S, you're only supposed to do that if it's ISO 6425 certified, and this it most certainly is not. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, I'll shout it from the mountaintop. This watch is great. If you like how this watch looks, then buy it immediately. You will not regret it. Well, thank you for watching my review of the ADDIESDIVE AD2055, and I will be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link and I'll get a small commission that will help this channel grow. Bye.